Hello, Thierry. Welcome to We Speak to the World report. Tell us what is happening now with this negotiation between United States, Ukraine, and Russia.
Well, first of all, we need to put it in the context, in the military context. We're seeing the South Front in the Donbass that is totally collapsing. In the Kursk region, the last 72 hours was absolutely horrendous for the Ukrainian army that has been crushed in a manner I have never seen. And they are losing the ground. They are expelled from this region. They are running away in total disarray. It's a disaster. So basically, this marketing operation to allow Zelensky, in fact, to stay afloat, to sell, in fact, his war to the European Union and get, in fact, whatsoever financial support is just ending into a disaster. It has been costing $6 billion in military gears, and it costed the life of 67,000 soldiers. Today, in Jeddah, the American team was meeting with the Ukrainian team. And the Ukrainians, they have been accepting, in fact, the deal that was proposed, in fact, to compensate the financial support and the military support that the United States have been bringing for the last 3 years in exchange of the raw materials that are supposed to be as deposits in Ukraine. What is very surprising me, very, very surprising me, is that there is no rare earth in Ukraine. Not at all. There are coal, there is metal, there are a little bit of uranium, there is antimonium, there are some gas and oil, but it's very difficult, in fact, to extract it. So basically, I don't understand this deal. For me, it's something that puzzles me and puzzles everybody. Now, what the Ukrainians are asking in exchange is to obtain a 1 month ceasefire on the airborne operation. And this certainly is to gain time to make sure that they will be regrouping themselves, to rearm themselves, regarding the fact that during the last 2 weeks, the weapon supply coming from the United States has been completely stopping. So basically what they try to do is to make sure that they will be able, in fact, to reignite their operation. On the Russian side, I do believe absolutely that nobody is going to accept such a deal, because now Russia has the upper hands. And what I want to do is to regain the control on the oblast that has been signing up by a referendum to be reassigned and reassigned to the Russian territory. So basically, I don't understand what is going on right now. I don't understand the positioning of Trump, because he has been saying that he want to he want to get the peace, but in the same time, what he want to do now is to reignite the supply of the military gears. So basically, he has been getting his bargain, and now what he want to do is to put oil on the fire. This is completely ridiculous, you know? So what is going to happen, and I have the full conviction of it, is that Vladimir Putin is going to refuse such a deal. It's out of question to accept this in regard of the situation. And on top of it, from what I have been hearing tonight, is that he has been asking his army, in fact, to retake fully the territory of Kursk in the way that he can focus on shifting to the South Donbass. So what is going to happen next? We will see, but nothing good, that is for sure. Besides this, the European Union has been declaring that they want to leverage a fund of $500 billion to set a sort of European army. I do not believe a second this is the reason. What they are looking after is to confiscate the saving of every population in Europe, because the level of debt that has been piling within, in fact, the book of the EBC is absolutely gigantic. I have a few numbers for you. EBC for the last 3 years have been piling up on 2,700 billion euro in debt. France is drowning under 7,600 billion in debt. How do you want the economy of European Union, in fact, to function in those conditions? So basically, my guesstimate is that those guys they are pulling together the pretext of war, claiming that Russia is a national threat, existential threat. When this is completely bullshit, because the first enemy of Europe is not Russia. This is the European Commission. Those guys, they try, in fact, to find a pretext in the way that they will be able, in fact, to justify the federalization of Europe. And at the end of the story, this entire, how to say, monster that has been constituted is going to collapse. Look at what's happening in Romania. Look at what's happening in Slovakia, in Hungary, in Bulgaria. Everywhere, everybody is complaining regarding the behavior of those people. So basically, we are going to witness the total collapse of the European Union. And what is worrying me is that when this is going to happen, what is going to happen with the currency itself? So basically, we need to get prepared and we need to make sure to exit the Eurozone. Therefore, I would suggest the Croatian citizen, in fact, to convert their currency into a currency that is going to be more solid. And I'm thinking about French, Swiss franc, the pound in UK. Even the dollar is very, very fragile because the level of debt the United States is facing right now is so scary that I do believe their economy is going to collapse, and this is going to crush completely the dollar.
Can you just, one more thing, explain in detail how they are planning to confiscate our savings in Europe?
Well, do you know the directive of Moscovici? Moscovici said, if the financial system in Europe is about to collapse and we are measuring the risk, we are allowing ourselves to confiscate 10% above a certain level within any accounts. And this is what they have been doing in Cyprus. Remember, a few years ago, when Cyprus was about to collapse, the government of Cyprus has been confiscating, in fact, the saving of the people. It was as simple as this. They have the control on the bank. They just have, in fact, to write off whatsoever amount they want, and that's it. And there is nothing you can do. But if you want to protect yourself, you need to exit the Eurozone. And this is what I'm doing right now, actually. I am doing it because this is a very serious threat. It is no more joke. And I take it as granted. The Minister of the Economy today was in front of all the deputies, and he has been claiming it explicitly. He said, we are going to confiscate the assets of the French people. Oh, yeah? You do that? Bye-bye.
Okay. And finally, is there any suggestion from side or proposal from side of Russia how to finish this war or maybe make some peace agreement?
Well, the peace agreement cannot be indexed on a ceasefire. This is not possible. The problem that we're encountering right now is a much global problem. It is about, in fact, to consider the unicity of the security in the Eurasian continent. So therefore, what does it mean? It means that the United States need to withdraw their nuclear weapon out of Europe. I had a conversation that was about 18 months ago with a general in the US called General McInerney, and he was in charge of the US Air Force. He's a 3-star general. And I say, Thomas, what do you think about if Russia was setting up a nuclear missile in Mexico? His answer was swift, straight, and he was right about it. He said, this will never happen. So therefore, when you consider bilateral relation, you need to have a sort of balance. If this is not acceptable on the United States point of view, then it's not acceptable on the Russian point of view. So therefore, there is a sort of reciprocity in the balance of power that needs to be reset in Europe. But the problem is that we are facing right now politicians that are not mature enough to understand this kind of fact. And which means, in other terms, that we need to make sure to kick them out of business. We need to make sure that those guys will be completely neutralized because they are dangerous, they are immature, and they don't have, in fact, the shoulder necessary to handle real negotiation and real diplomacy.
Thank you, Thierry. Thank you for the all new information, and we'll be in touch very soon again.
Thank you very much, Andrisha, and I wish you having a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.